Hi everyone, I'm Tim and you're watching The Man Who Planted Potatoes. And this week, I'm sorry if there's any background noise, but there are some builders outside working on a neighbour's driveway and they do not know how to be quiet. Literally, they cannot do anything quietly. Even when they slurp their tea, it's like... That's them drinking their tea. I can hear it next door. In other news, my hair is growing back, so I currently look like the child of a serial killer and a light bulb. And don't ask me how that works, maybe the serial killer's just into that sort of stuff. Anyway, spuds update. Right, we're gonna do things in a bit of a reverse order this week. Shallots, brilliant. Leeks, fantastic. Need to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Tomatoes, great. All of them have been potted now, and now I'm starting to give them away. I have to let go of my babies. Beans are fantastic. Need bigger bean poles. Looks like Day of the Triffids out there. But the potatoes. The other day, I was out looking at them and I noticed these little sort of dark coloured patches on the leaves, and over the next week or so it spread a lot more, and then the leaves started yellowing, and then I looked back across the photos of them and it looks as though this has been going on for a while and I just haven't noticed it, and it seemed to be spreading between plants, so I was quite stressed. And I messaged my friend Christine saying, is this a problem? And she messaged me back saying, hi Tim, not sure, but potatoes are often prone to potato blight, see RHS site, especially once the weather gets damper. You could also check out RE deficiencies, e.g. magnesium. So I did check the RHS website, and what I've got looks a lot like potato blight. Now, potato blight is this pretty terrifying thing that gets into the leaves of potatoes, and if you're not careful can spread and kill the potatoes. And the biggest problem is there's nothing you can really treat the potatoes with to kill the blight off. The only solution is to kind of prune the leaves and hope that you get the infected ones. Now, I had a massive cull on my leaves and got rid of any of the really bad ones, and anything that I could see that had a sort of dark coloured spot on it was straight off. No mercy. No mercy for the potato. And I thought I'd nipped it in the bud. Get it? But it does look as though the leaves that have grown back also have some dark coloured blots on them. I'm sure if I keep pruning the problem will go away, right? So yeah, this is very worrying, particularly when I was so close to getting those potatoes ready. Have any of you encountered potato blight? How'd you deal with it? Does it go away if you keep pruning the leaves? Please help. Now, before I start the thank you section, the posting schedule has become a bit mixed up. So if you liked that video or commented or whatever, it may be that you don't pop up in this video, but don't worry, I will catch your name for next week. That said, thank you to the following people. On YouTube, thank you to Matt for your comment. Thank you very much, Matt. On Instagram, thank you to Mahidin Mustafa 8, Nazatsky Pomble, Iris G40, C Jeffcoat, Oxford Biocar, Lucy Glassbrook, Keck_Baker, and Man Like Assy. On Twitter, thank you to Jack Spencer. Thank you very much, Jack. On Facebook, thank you to Paul, Lucy Sean, and Reynard Saab Longman, or Tom, as I know him in real life. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support, and thank you to everyone who's engaged in conversation with me on social media as well this week. I'm really enjoying sharing ideas with you all throughout the week. If you haven't already, do check out my first ever Instagram live stream. It's also up on YouTube, and it's a really simple, brief tutorial about how to turn an empty food can into a plant pot. Okay, it's time for this week's indoor ideas. Carrots. Now, I know when I say carrots that some people's hearts will have dropped into their boots, because let's be honest, carrots have a bit of a patchy history. Patchy. Get it? We still really think of carrots as one of the meat and two veg, don't we? Like a lot of the time, carrots are chopped into these big fat rings and boiled and served to kids who won't eat their greens. Yeah, obviously, because if a kid won't eat his greens, then he's gonna eat orange vegetables. I was served rubbish carrots as a kid. Sorry, Mum. So we need to get back into carrots and we need to make them interesting again. A couple of ideas. My nemesis, Max Lamana, he suggests a big thing is that you shouldn't peel your carrots, because the skins of the carrot have loads of vitamins. They're one of the strongest parts of the carrot because they've got to resist whatever's coming in from outside to attack the carrot, right? But let's talk about how to grow carrots. Growing carrots is so simple. There's a Wiki how page on how to do it. But there's one big thing you have to bear in mind when growing carrots. Carrots grow down. It's such a simple thing, and it sounds like I'm being patronising, but I think a lot of people forget it. So if you're going to plant carrots on your windowsill, and carrots are a really good vegetable to do that with because they don't require that much space, you need to plant them in a container that is at least 8 inches deep. And before you make the joke, fellas, no, you can't measure 8 inches that way because yours is 2 inches. But here's a question. You want to reuse stuff. You don't want to just go to a garden centre and buy a specifically made pot. What can you use? Here's an idea. A milk carton. When this thing's empty, just chop the top off, fill it with soil and plant. Now this is an Oatly carton. Oatly pride themselves on being very environmental, and they make a big thing here of you being able to turn this into a herb garden. But my point is that because Oatly have designed their products to be reused, this will probably stand up to having soil in it and being watered regularly much better than, say, the toilet rolls. Because remember, if we look at Tom's toilet rolls from a few weeks ago, they are dissolving. So obviously you need to be careful and you need to not just water them all over every day. But it is possible, I reckon, to grow some carrots in one of these. And if you're growing baby carrots, how about you use a smaller carton? Again, a great way of reusing a bit of rubbish. And there is a school of thought that says if you're going to grow a baby carrot as opposed to a fully grown adult carrot, then it's actually better to plant it in a smaller container that's not going to let the plant get too much bigger. If you're looking to make growing carrots a bit more interesting, again, check out my nemesis, Max Lamana. When he cooks using carrots, he chops the tops off and then he uses those tops to grow whole new carrots. And that does seem like a bit of a challenge, but also seems very, very cool. So there you are, carrots. Nice, easy, straightforward. Grow them in a container with lots of depth so they can grow properly, and make sure to do something interesting when you're cooking with them. Have any of you grown carrots? Are there any secret challenges I don't know about? What have you used to grow them in to get that 8 inches of depth? And how have you cooked them? One more thing before we're done for the week. Check out the Gangster Gardener. This is a guy called Ron Finley, and out of all the various gardeners I've spoken about on this blog, who've all been amazing and all been a really interesting influence for me, Ron Finley is by far the coolest. Ron comes from South LA, which used to be called South Central, which is one of the rougher areas in LA. Ron became a guerrilla gardener. And if you don't know what a guerrilla gardener is, look it up online because it is the coolest thing ever. These are people who garden on publicly owned property or abandoned property, or basically property which isn't theirs. And Ron's location of choice was the curb walk, which is the area between your front garden and the road. And he had a number of legal battles to sort this out and make sure that he actually could do this. He just turned the entire area into a garden that's sort of half vegetable patch, half flower patch. Got a whole website now called the Ron Finley Project, which I'll put in the comments for you to have a look at. It's all about how growing things, particularly growing your own food, can change the place you live in. For instance, one thing Ron has cited himself is a statistic that says if you encourage people in a local community to garden, the crime rate goes down. He talks in depth about the way you garden and what it can do for you. And Ron isn't some mad, overprivileged hippie living out the sticks. You know, he's very practical and he's very down to earth. He's actually even been invited to do a TED talk. I'm currently doing his masterclass at the moment, and I must say it's really, really good. I think the biggest thing for me is just how simple he makes it all seem, and how universal, how it's for everyone. So yeah, go away and check out Ron Finley, the Gangster Gardener. I promise you, he will change the way you look at gardening. So that's all from me this week. If you have ideas or questions or concerns about anything you've seen in this video or any of the other videos, please do get in touch, and you can comment right here, right down on YouTube. Please follow me on social media. On Twitter and Facebook, I am @manplanted, and on Instagram, I am just themanwhoplantedpotatoes. You can also email me at themanwhoplantedpotatoes@gmail.com, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe right here on YouTube. There should be a YouTube subscribe orb floating around, probably somewhere down here. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It really does make a difference, and I'll see you all next week.